When you make episodes on subjects like this, it's one of the more difficult things to think about is what am I going to title this episode? Because it's like, oh my God, Caterpillar Blue incoming. The usual kind of clickbaity shit, which is pretty much YouTube gold, but in the end it's kind of misleading. Do I think that CIG is about to make like a Caterpillar Blue? I don't think so. I'm going to kind of detail why I don't think that this is initially something that they're thinking about, though the possibility I think is logical to an extent, and we're going to kind of expand on a lot of these ideas. But first things first, let's reveal, what is spurring on this conversation with the video that CIG released last Thursday. So for those of you in the dark, on last Thursday's Inside Star Citizen, they revealed a new mission. Now, this isn't the same as the other mission, which of course, brought us the Idris. This is a mission where you have to raid a prison refitted Caterpillar and free some prisoners for, what's her name, Pinky Tabasco on Area 18 at ArcCorp. Now, realistically, like watching this mission play out, it doesn't look like a full rework of the Caterpillar at all. It looks like a standard Covalex edition Caterpillar, but with prison pods placed into it. Now, of course, there's interactions with some of the things, and you got to go into your journal and go, okay, who's the prisoner with this serial number? That's the prisoner that I gotta, free. It's a fairly involved mission, which is a good thing. It forces you to read mission text and understand the objective. It's not like, let's say, something in the modern World of Warcraft where it just kind of shows you a highlighted area and says kill 15 orcs, and you're like, oh wow, great narrative there, by the way. This is a good way to design missions where you force people to read the mission text and understand what they're actually doing. So does this mean that a Caterpillar Blue is on the horizon? I don't think that it would be unreasonable to expect CIG to kind of explore that idea. I mean, it's a low-cost, general-purpose transport ship. It's basically the best cargo ship that you can buy right now that's flyable. It is a ship that's built around the ideas of modularity, of swappable components. So while the current mission that we're going to see is obviously a redress, just redressing an existing set, I think that chances are that CIG might kind of look at it and say, yeah, that would actually be kind of easy. The community kind of embraced it through the mission. Why not just do a little rework on the existing Caterpillar and make a Caterpillar Blue? And, I certainly would not be resistant to the idea of a slightly upgunned Caterpillar either, just like the Cutlass Blue is to the Cutlass Black. Would not be unwelcome. I mean, especially since we don't really even have the old Caterpillar pirate paint job anymore. Sad face, but it is what it is. So I mean, I wouldn't say that it's beyond the realm of possibility that CIG would bring in a Caterpillar Blue. Now, as for the prison mission and transporting prisoners, I mean, it's the idea of CIG taking existing assets and actually making content out of them, and really good content. I think that a lot of us, we kind of always kind of thirst for that with CIG. It's just like, you have all the pieces right here to actually do some really cool stuff. Why don't you do that and, make some content for the persistent universe? And I think that this is the CIG experimenting with that once again. They did it with the 890 jump mission, and obviously they're doing it again this time to rescue Pinky Tabasco's less successful entrepreneurs. I like it. I want to encourage it. I want to encourage CIG to, kind of explore the PU even in its current state and open up other doors. I think it would be really, really cool of CIG if completing a mission like this or completing a mission like the Idris resulted in something permanent being attached to your account. Now, it doesn't need to be anything brokenly overpowered, like, oh, well, it's an LH86, but it has a drum that holds 700 rounds and it pierces all ammo or all armor. So nothing like that, but just like a cool souvenir that you keep on your account that, you know, someone can look at years and years from now and say like, oh yeah, you know, that is a reward from, you know, such and such a thing. Things like that really kind of, I think, tie players to the game when they have something visible on their character or on their ship or something that's kind of like a trophy of a bygone era of the game, you know? And so I think that I would encourage CIG to attach something like that. You know, often we see these cool pieces of armor that they're working at, but then they don't materialize, like the skull helmet and the hooded kind of sniper mask that we saw years ago on ATV. Or was it years ago? No, I think the skull helmet was last year, and I think ATV was like 2 years ago when they were first kind of showing off Hurston. They had that cool kind of like hooded, almost Sith looking mask. Stuff like that as a reward, you know, parts of these, you know, these bygone armor sets, you know, that are, you know, kind of out there but waiting for an introduction. Stuff like this would, I think, be really cool as, you know, like a vehicle to unlocking these things, encouraging participation and testing in the game, and rewarding players in a way that isn't game breaking for doing so. Now, is this indicative of something that will exist in the persistent universe in the future? Are we going to see even, you know, in this NPC way, like prison caterpillars, and let's say your buddy gets caught raiding, you know, security Port Korea or whatever, and they get captured by the police, and they're now being transported off to you know, this, you know, the new space prison. Are you going to have opportunities to maybe bust them out of prison by interdicting the prison transport? That would be something really, really cool. Obviously, CIG is kind of, you know, they are really attaching penalties to committing crimes in the Star Citizen universe. I mean, if you do get caught, you are kind of taken to this prison and you now have to work your way out of that prison. That is the penalty for committing a crime in the Star Citizen universe. And it's something that I'm in favor of. It's not just like, oh, well, click, boom, you wake up in your bed, try again. You know, they're actually attaching consequences to actions, which is a good thing. It makes people think about what they're doing rather than just kind of going into the game and just being like, you know, kill everything. You know, now you got to think about it because now there's a penalty. Now there's a price. And which is a good thing. But I also think that, you know, kind of opening up the idea, like, let's say this caterpillar is traveling between worlds and it's carrying transports. If you know your buddy is on that caterpillar and you kind of have an idea of when that caterpillar is going to be moved from A to B, if you can interdict that caterpillar, break into it, and steal your buddy back, you know, that would be really, really cool. I think that would be a really great thing. The logistics of doing that would be kind of rough because, you know, if you're a player and you get captured by the police, you know, so you boom, and then you wake up in your prison cell, or do you have to wait as a player in the real world? Do you have to wait as your character is processed through the prison system before you can even get to the prison to start doing the things to get out of the prison? If you understand what I mean, because logistically you have to then capture a prisoner, take them, I guess, charge them with a crime, convict them, put them on a prison transport, fly them to prison before they even get a chance to, you know, start doing their thing again. They're basically trapped by the system. And so is that something that maybe says, oh, well, I guess I'll log off for the next day while my character goes through processing and see if one of my buddies can't break me out? I mean, obviously you're in some kind of a stasis tube, so you wouldn't be awake for that trip. So, I mean, maybe. It depends on how hardcore CIG goes. I mean, we're really, you know, seeing the prison system and seeing something like this pop up. It's going to be an interesting time to kind of explore these ideas and what kind of a penalty is appropriate versus what kind of a penalty is like sitting there and watching your character getting processed through the legal system of, you know, 1,000 years from now for like a day, 2 days, whatever it takes, could really kind of suck in a lot of ways. But it could maybe, work to curb or at least enforce much more intelligent gameplay when you're engaged in illegal behavior. So it's going to be an interesting experiment to see play out if they do go that kind of super hardcore route. It would be very interesting to kind of see it. You kind of think about, people might react negatively, but then people might react positively to it too, and it might remove a lot of pad ramming and kind of dumb crimes in Star Citizen and make it so that the real crimes in Star Citizen are the real smart ones, are the real good ones. And I don't know, it's kind of an interesting idea. I'm kind of 50-50 on if it's good or if it's bad, if it ends up being something like that. It's going to be interesting to see CIG flesh this one out. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.